Hey, my name is Vincent, and throughout this video I'll be explaining my process of painting. In the first 5 to 6 minutes I'll be explaining the decision process that led to the start of the recording. I'll cover my thoughts on value, composition, light, and color. Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be walking you through the process I went through in creating this dragon piece. Right now what you're seeing is the thumbnail of a dragon, and I had a character. I had done a few dragon themed thumbnails. This one stood out the most because it was kind of a dynamic dragon in the center of the midground. From that stage I moved on to this. What you're seeing right now is the second phase. I kind of rendered out the dragon itself, focused a little bit on simplifying the background and actually adding in little storytelling elements and getting rid of that foreground character. And so right now you're seeing the owls that I was thinking maybe add in a few foresty shots and have some characters looking towards the main focus of the image, which would be the dragon. I didn't quite like this, so I went in between that and switching to this right here, which is a mech and a dragon scenario. I was kind of pleased with the character in the foreground, but I kind of knew the horizon line and just the overall connection between the foreground and the midground and the background just looked so different from each other. So I kind of went from taking those owls, taking the mech design and the original dragon, and kind of merged them into one, which you'll see me pull up. So right now what you're seeing is a combination of all three versions of that composition. I wanted to have that build up of the foreground, darker elements, all the way to this gigantic dragon or lizard reptilian. Next I'll kind of go through a few just detailed changes. It actually was a long process, but I basically kind of changed the face and simplified the background, taking out those foresty look, and I was really trying to sell this kind of deserted feel that would really escalate that scale of the creature. So right now you're seeing a few face changes that are kind of strange, but I was really trying to fill out this face that I have right now. Kind of feels cartoonish, kind of in a style of a whimsical little world, and I really wanted to sell a dark, gruesome, monstrous. When you see this creature, you're probably like shitting your pants kind of look. Overall, I decided to cut out the face altogether, sealing up that lip and just starting back from the basics. I really went for this look right here that's really selling that menacing approach that I wanted. I was just laughing at the fact that it looks so much like a pit bull, just fat and just a weird alien pit bull, alien dragon. But I'm basically building up that foreground to sell this scale. I was really kind of studying up on values and lighting and just trying to build up a grayscale. So now you'll see that I bring in the lighting test. I actually derived this initial and final lighting from a lighting test that I did with 4 different copies of the original and final version that I'll go with the image. And what I did was I created a brightness layer in the little panel to the right of the screen, next to the hue, saturation, the posterization, and the invert, and all those selections, I pulled up a brightness little panel, and I just played around using the black and white values and painting in those lights and just seeing what worked to sell what I wanted. Overall, it's a real combination of the first, second, and third value and lighting testing. The fourth one really didn't sell any kind of lighting, so I just crossed that out and combined all the other three into one initial lighting. Right here you'll see that I have a bunch of arrows on the screen. I've actually I had been on the Google Plus. I've been following this session of Tyler Edlin, and one of the group members was really focusing on contour lines that sell the point of interest in a scene. And so I was really just taking a little bit knowledge off of something that pops out of nowhere and trying to integrate it into my final picture. And so what I did is a lot of the shapes are leaning into that center dragon, really emphasizing what I want the people that are looking at this to be focusing on. So this is pretty much where I leave off for the final grayscale. You'll see that I'll stop this stop here and copy everything, merge all the layers down and copy the final image, and then bring it into another file in which I'll start coloring it and have mainly just more space to work, because that file was getting pretty big and slow. And so now you'll see this is where I pretty much left off on the last one. I am just refreshing, showing you that I've added in some water here and there, trying to sell a story that I thought of this Dragoon, a lagoon type setting in which this dragon is nesting and just resting and waiting for you to capture its presence. So right about now, I'll show you how I started to color. I had a really hard time trying to color this one because I have never done grayscale to color before and had a success. This is actually the first time that me going from grayscale all the way to a final resolution rendered out image of color. So I was really playing out with a lot of color. A lot of times I was just bashing in those layer effects, trying to find what works, studying, just looking at what worked for other people's, borrowing information from other processes, until I finally ran into the multiply and overlay combo that really worked for me. And I think I also used a luminosity layer for this main blue tone of the creature itself. I used a luminosity, maybe a multiply for the character or the dragon, and it really gave me that dark blue tone that really led to most of my color decisions later on in the painting. The lighting in the back was an overlay, and that pretty much sums up the base of my color. From here, I will finally stop rambling and leave you guys with the time-lapse recording of me painting this guy. Make sure you check out part 2 to see how I wrap this project up. Also, feel free to leave any comments, questions, or topics you'd like me to go over in future videos. Thank you guys, and peace.
So We're in need of a redeemer, someone wonderful, wonderful. Air power and rapid streams, sailing ships and solar dreams. All these things I know can change my world. Small feats and bigger dreams, greater goods and less machines. All these things I know can change my world. But as far as I can see, there's no one watching over me. No one can come and save my world. Maybe I could be a savior, someone beautiful, beautiful. Maybe you could be a leader, someone wonderful, wonderful. Maybe you could be a leader, someone wonderful, wonderful. Maybe I could be a savior, someone beautiful, beautiful. Maybe you could be a leader, someone wonderful, wonderful. Someone wonderful, wonderful. Someone wonderful, wonderful. Someone wonderful,